Remember when you were younger? If you my age, you may remember this. And your parent would say something, or an older adult would say, I don't care what they're doing outside. You need to do the opposite. If all your friends are going to jump off the bridge, are you going to follow them? Case in point, we're living in a time where everything is negative, that everything is ill, everything is sad, and people are latching on to that. They're latching on to being angry, sad, negative, and they want to trade traumas and stories of pain and hurt. So, at this time, this is the time we need to do the opposite. If people being mean is running rampant, we need to do the opposite. Kind, show love. And kids, stop following the idiocracy of the world. Stop following the dumb stuff. Do the opposite. Common sense tell you it's going to get you further. Do the opposite. It was a time where things were positive, and the little bit of negative that creep in, people would look at it like, and now things are highly negative and bad, and people look at it good like, oh, they're doing something positive. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what we're supposed to be doing. So parents, be a little more assertive with your kids when it comes to things with them. Show them things that will build them up. Because if we allow kids to get to a point where they can't cope and endure, we kind of failed. We failed. If they need something for support all the time, or it's like that's telling us something that they need support. If they're hurting people out of lack of love, that's telling us something. They need love. If they love an animal, and that animal is something that they're latching on to, or a device, or anything like that, or a negative vice, or something like that, they're longing out for something. So as adults, we need to dig more into our feelings and know that we need to show a little bit more empathy to the young and pull the young up and build them up, because their future is coming and they're going to need to know how to endure. And if they can't cope with the fact that a bill is coming, or that something changed drastically without having an anxiety breakdown or something like that, it's gonna be hard to live, because everyday life isn't always easy. And everyday life brings challenges and adversity. And it's going to be things that you need to deal with. It's going to be things that you have to go through. And it's not always going to be comparable to have something, an animal that you have to get a piece of paper to help you get through these things. And I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm just saying that these kids are latching on to things because they're not getting it from somewhere. So as adults, we need to stop trying to grab on to this negative world and interject ourselves into this negative world and dance our way along in life, and understand that we need to help build a better future. And I don't care what your kid is doing. If your kid is so immersed into that world and they can't handle everyday things, and they're in their 20s, or they're in them teens, and little things that were nothing when you were a kid is breaking them, then we got to retract and look at our parenting and know that, man, look at our feelings as a young person and know that we need to help them cope and learn how to deal and endure and build better human beings for the future. You can't just let them go. You can't just say, oh, that's just their generation. Oh, it's not like you. Excuses. Excuses is going to have you walking around petrified and having to protect yourself from the very kids that you gave birth to. And I don't mean just all physical birth, I mean mental birth or spiritual birth. So learn to look to build. Look to build. Look to build. Look to build. Think about who's coming behind. Look to build. Don't think too far ahead. Don't go too far back. But look to build for now. Foundation. Your kids, your neighbor's kids, it's all legacy. It's all bloodline. It's bigger than a house. It's bigger than a car. It's bigger than your job. Have to build these human beings better so they'll be able to endure. Think about some of the things you deal with every day as an adult and ask yourself, can your kid, or your neighbor's kid, your niece, your nephew, your cousin, your young uncle, your young auntie, can they handle that? Or will they break? Peace. Fight for your life.